The heavens are vast, the cosmos endless. All things in the world meet their end, except the love between a parent and child, which defies death and endures forever. It was a morning veiled in mist. Kiao Ju knelt silently before the Buddha. His hands were pressed together, joints pale from kneeling too long. His forehead touched the icy stone floor. Tears fell from the corners of his downcast eyes, scalding as they struck the cold blue slabs. He had dreamed of his mother. In the dream, her frail, emaciated body was bound in chains, engulfed by flames. Even as fire devoured her skin, her eyes still glimmered with familiar warmth, a gentleness she had only ever shown to him. And from within the inferno, with a broken, rasping voice, she cried his name. That voice, sharp, desperate, tore his soul apart. He awoke with a start, his white robe drenched in sweat, looking down at his hands, clenched so tightly that his nails had drawn blood. He knew she was gone. Worse still, she was suffering in hell. It was her harshness toward others, her cutting words, her bitter disdain for the world that had sealed her fate. She had always been feared in the village, her name spoken in whispers. Sharp-tongued, cold-hearted, impossible to please, but only he knew how deeply she loved. She would go hungry for 3 days to save a bowl of rice for him. She would scold him harshly for slacking in his studies, then stay up all night sewing his torn books back together. Her fingers red and raw. She was a blade. She was a shield. And now it was that very love that had condemned her to hell. Kiao Ju's heart felt as if it had been torn in two. If the hells remain, then I shall not become a Buddha. These words fell from his lips softly, but their echo shook the heavens. At the gates of the underworld, yellow sand howled in the wind, and black gusts swept through the air heavy with the stench of blood and rot. Kiao Ju stepped barefoot onto the blood-red path of the river of forgetfulness. Sharp stones tore at his soles, leaving streaks of blood across the pale gray earth. Step by step, he walked through the wailing city of the wrongfully dead. On either side, countless spirits screamed in terror. Some had no eyes, some no tongues. Some dragged broken limbs and mangled torsos, clinging helplessly to the edges of his robe, pleading in cracked, desperate voices. "Help me, please, help me." Kiao Ju paused. He looked down at them, his short hair tousled by the cold winds of the netherworld. His face handsome, solemn, was filled with compassion. In his eyes shone a soft but unwavering light, as though he had silently promised every soul, "I won't forget you." He gripped his monk's staff tightly and whispered, "I will return to save you." With a long creak, the iron gates swung open. He stepped into the mountain of blades and the sea of fire. A blade sliced across his chest. Flames licked at his flesh. His white robe curled and blackened in the fire, until it peeled away to reveal his scarred shoulders and firm, bleeding chest. With every step, his skin tore. With every stride, blood poured. But he never stopped. He never once looked back. At last, he stood before the hall of Yama. The king of hell sat high upon his iron throne, his body clad in dark armor, his gaze sharp as lightning, piercing into this small yet resolute mortal before him. "Why do you persist?" Kiao Ju fell heavily to his knees. His voice trembled, but his words rang clear. "I ask only for this, to trade my body for one single day of peace for my mother." The king of hell said nothing. His silence was like the stillness of all the underworld holding its breath. The king of hell slowly opened his mouth. "If you wish to save your mother, you must recite the Sutra of Kṣitigarbha 10,000 times, and deliver countless suffering souls from torment. This path leads to endless calamity and no return. Kiao Ju lifted his head. His gaze was clear and burning with determination. I am willing. From that moment on, he walked through all 10 courts of hell, his feet treading over pools of blood and serpents, his voice echoing through realms of frost and flame. Wherever he walked, he recited scriptures. Wherever he walked, he lit a lamp. With his strong hands, he soothed trembling souls. With his burning blood, he lit up the cold and shadowed underworld. He saved vengeful spirits hanging from blackened trees and rescued forsaken souls trapped beneath grinding stones. He knelt upon cold iron and chanted for 100 days. He crossed rivers of fire, delivering prayers to guide 100 wandering ghosts. Every soul he redeemed, every salvation he offered, brought him one step closer to his mother. Until one day, he finally reached the deepest depths of Avichi hell. And there, he saw his mother. Her hands were chained high above her head, her body emaciated, her face twisted with pain. She had nearly forgotten who she was, yet from the depths of her instinct, she still murmured his name. That voice, though faint in the blaze, pierced through the realm of 1,000 blades. Kiao Ju rushed forward and embraced his mother's wounded body. With trembling breath, he whispered, "Mother, your son is sorry for coming too late." His tears fell, one by one, onto her shoulder, hot as fire, but warm as they had always been. His chanting echoed throughout the depths of Avichi hell as his staff gently struck the stone floor, sending ripples of golden light through the darkness. Chains shattered, flames died away. His mother was finally delivered to a path of peace, freed from the endless cycle of suffering. Before parting, light returned to her once dimmed eyes. She slowly reached out her hand and asked softly, "My child, will you come with me?" Kiao Ju's eyes brimmed with tears, but he gently shook his head. There are still so many in this world, suffering just like you once did. I cannot leave them behind. He turned once more and stepped back into the endless dark. His back, in the firelight, was solitary yet unwavering. From that moment on, he was no longer a mere mortal. He became the one the world would forever call Kṣitigarbha Bodhisattva. Only when the hells are empty will I become a Buddha. Only when all beings are saved will I attain enlightenment. These words, carried across 1,000 years, still echo in the hearts of all who hear them. Some say he is a lamp lighting the abyss for wandering souls. Some say he is a bridge guiding the lost to the other shore. But he has never called himself anything. He is simply the child who just wanted to bring his mother home.